Welcome to another episode of Bringing Down the Grindhouse, a podcast where we discuss horror in media. And tonight, join us on a tropical vacation. Follow us through.
It was made funnier by the fact that you went on vacation.
So sorry. I was like, excavation? No. Excursion? No. I can't get my words right. This is going in the bloopers. Anyway, so welcome to another episode of Bringing Down the Grindhouse, a podcast where we discuss horror in media. And tonight, join us on a tropical excursion. Follow us through terrifying laboratory experiments and gaze upon all of the horrible furry creatures as we delve into the island of Dr. Moreau, 1996. Oh. I'm Mitch.
I'm Murr.
I'm Justine.
And I'm Jonathan.
This was a Patreon episode requested by our number one Yeehaw fan, Sean.
Shout out to Sean from Texas.
That's my burrito brother.
Woo! The karate master.
I'm curious to know why it's the 96 version and not the other one.
I talked to Sean about this. Says that other version's whack.
And I quote,
but this one
whack.
wasn't?
Well, he said this one has more action and explosions.
I mean,
the other one did the worst thing that a movie can do: be boring.
Oh man.
At least this one has some weird flavor.
At least it's got Ron Perlman.
Yeah, right.
As a goat priest.
Weird goat.
But
thing.
before we get into goat priests,
Yeah, there's a promotion, Justine, right?
Yeah, we got a little special thing for our listeners tonight. You guys ever, it's starting to get a little cooler in the evening. You ever go out and just not know what jacket you want to wear? Well, we have that covered for you. Tonight's program, they make horror-themed merchandise. Really cute stuff. And you can get a special 20% off discount using our code BDTGH. That is BDTGH. Just type that into the checkout and you can get 20% off of your horror-themed merch.
At which website?
Tonightsprogram.com.
Gotcha. So check it out. Bet.
Check it out, y'all.
They've got a lot of stuff on there. I was
Yeah.
looking through it. They got anything from leggings to hats to pullover sweaters, crew necks, things like that.
They also have that really cool mayhem themed like Halloween t-shirt.
I really want that
which
one.
looks sick.
Yeah. I think I'm going to be the first person to use that code.
Right, I feel like you're right. We're just going to order shit.
It's time. Spooky season is upon us.
So
Pull over and
You
hoodies
got to
come
don
through.
the little sheet ghosts.
Yeah. All right, so this movie's a fucking train wreck.
Yeah. Back to the movie.
I gotta say, this movie is based off a novel by H.G. Wells from 1896.
Which
and
is kind of funny because I feel like it would be a cursed film if it was based off an H.G. Wells story.
He wrote this after having an argument with someone.
All right,
essentially
then.
over
I feel that.
over like the fusion of man and animal. And I find that very hilarious.
I guess
I want to know what brought up that conversation in the first place.
vivisection was really big back in the olden days. So they were just talking about, because it was a new technological feat basically of mankind to try to dip its toes into vivisection with animals and humans. So I guess it's kind of like Jurassic Park, how it's a warning for man to not fuck with things.
That's exactly right.
I feel that.
They're trying to warn against changing of nature because at that time there was a huge amount of industrialization happening, and it was changing a lot of how our natural resources were, like the rainforest, things like that. This is the era of save the rainforest. And
I mean, aren't we still in that era?
No, they're gone.
So
well,
now
we still try to save the rainforest, right?
Most of the Amazon is cut down.
So this means we can't still save the rainforest, right?
So
Yes.
naturally the conversation shifts from industrialization to now what if we put people and animals together?
This is what's that movie, Splice? Which is also a fucked up movie. If you ever want to watch a fucked up movie about hybrids, go ahead and watch Splice.
So this movie was in development hell.
Long time.
And once you know a movie is in development hell, that's when you know it's going to be pretty bad.
I feel like he thought it was going to go well. At least the first director did.
Oh,
Well, he didn't last long, did he?
No.
what was his name? Richard Stanley, and we've talked about them before.
fired like 3 days onto filming.
Yeah, Richard Stanley directed Color Out of Space.
No way.
Yes, that is the same dude.
Yeah.
Well, he did great there.
Yeah. Also directed Hardware, which is a sick-ass industrial movie about robots. They play industrial music while they fight robots. It's cool.
He spent 4 years prepping to make this movie, and then was immediately fired from it.
There's an
Must have
entire
been heartbreaking.
fucking
there's an
Yeah,
entire
right?
there's an entire documentary about the failure of this movie because it was his project until the movie company went and moved in on
Dude,
it.
he got fired through a fax. Can you imagine getting fired through a fucking piece of paper on a fax machine?
I almost wish that we were
So
reviewing the
mad.
documentary about this movie rather than the movie, because I feel like there's way more substance in the documentary of
Oh,
just
yeah.
the shit
So many
show
weird
This-
things
that was trying
happen.
to develop this
It's
film.
it's the moment where the movie is okay, but like the story of how the movie was made is more interesting. So I would tell you about the cast, but I'm going to tell you about what Richard Stanley did to get his cast. So he consulted a magical warlock to do a blood ritual in which he could manifest to get Brando. What's his name?
Marlon
Brando.
What's his name? It's Marlon Brando.
Yeah,
I love
sorry,
that
I
Only
energy.
one of the most
I
influential
love
actors
that
ever.
energy.
I always
Who the fuck
forget
is
his
Marlon
first
Brando
name.
anyways?
Oh my
But
god.
yeah, so he did
That's
a
wild,
blood
dude.
ritual to get Marlon Brando on the set, and Marlon Brando agreed.
He mostly agreed because he said that he knew, or his dad knew, some guy who used to be a big game hunter in Africa, and he was like, hey, I used to be friends with that guy. Because Marlon Brando grew up in like the 50s and the 60s, so of course he knew someone like that.
Right.
And he was like, yeah, I've been interested in this character, so I'll go ahead and do it. But they didn't know he was like fucking nuts by that point.
Yeah, and then originally for the main character, they were considering to have Bruce Willis come on.
Yeah, but he was getting divorced, so he's like, I'm not doing this shit.
Also,
wonder
they
how
were
the
gonna have
movie would've
James
been
Wood
different.
as Dr. Montgomery.
It would have been amazing if there was James Woods in this movie.
No, I'm here for Bruce Willis. That would be a whole other movie.
It would be a completely different movie. What was he even doing at that time? Was this
This
like
is 96.
Divorcing Demi Moore.
no, getting divorced by Demi Moore?
Getting divorced. Excuse me.
Him and Val Kilmer both got divorced like around the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
time.
And that's just the beginning of the curse.
And then I
Oh,
forget.
Mitch, tell him what you told me in the car about Val Kilmer.
Oh my god. So I mean, first off, Val Kilmer didn't. Oh god. So Val Kilmer was way up his own ass when he walked onto the set of this movie because he'd just done Batman Forever. And of course, you know, that was a stellar production and did really well.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like this hotshot diva ass dude coming in here, and he's just like, I don't need to fuck it. He basically was so far up his own ass that he declared that he needed a 40% less work. 40% less work
Yeah,
on this
he had
film.
a
So he,
reduction on his time on set.
yeah, so he would just like sit on his ass and do absolutely nothing.
So-
and oh my god.
New Line wanted him to be the main character after they lost Bruce Willis, but like Mitch said, he wanted to drop the workload on himself, so they gave him the role of Dr. Montgomery because there's less lines.
Yep. Also, before that, the people at New Line Cinemas wanted to dump Stanley and give it to Roman Polanski.
Yeah, and they
They
did
went
behind
and
his
asked
back.
him, and he was like, what the fuck are you doing? And so he went and got Marlon Brando's help, and he came back. And of course, what are you going to do? You can't say no to Marlon Brando at that point. So they're like, I guess we'll go with this director.
I'm getting anxiety just discussing the shit show that is the
that was,
production of this
that was
film.
before they even started shooting.
Yeah.
Just wait till they start.
So they shot in Australia.
Australia.
However, before the shoot, Marlon Brando's daughter committed suicide
Right.
Due-
Which was really sad.
due to the fact that she couldn't find the murderer of her husband back in the day.
Fuck.
Yeah.
That sucks.
And then that same week, the French military also launched a nuclear bomb like a couple miles away from Marlon Brando's home in Tahiti, his private island. So this is a train wreck of a movie production, and we haven't even started shooting.
Somebody's grandma, who I forget, but their house was also struck by lightning. Not once, not twice, but 3 times.
Oh, Richard Stanley.
I don't know.
fuck?
Yeah, Rick-
Scientifically, the probabilities are just off there.
Yeah.
That was an act of God. God did not
Cursed.
want this movie to be made. I don't believe in God,
Also,
but he didn't want this
The
movie to
main
be
assistant to Richard Stanley got bit by an exotic spider and basically native to Australia, and their skin started to peel
What the fuck?
off. That was pretty bad. And then the the warlock who gave the blood sacrifice so they could get Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando.
I think that's a more
Great
accurate
nickname.
name.
Essentially, yeah, Marlon Brando. He got infected with the flesh-eating bacteria,
Oh yeah.
and yeah, that
Wild.
was bad.
Fuck.
A lot of bad shit happened.
If you're still wondering who the fuck Marlon Brando is, he was in The Godfather. He is the Godfather in that movie. He was also in A Streetcar Named Desire, which is an old as fuck movie that people really like, and Apocalypse Now.
A lot of people that have followed Marlon Brando for a very long time in his series would claim that for the last 10 years of his time in film, he was dialing it in.
Yeah,
Well-
he was losing it.
So there was also a hurricane on set.
Yes.
And basically, Stanley saw all these exotic animals being needed for the film, so he just decided to try to save all of them. And in doing so, and risking his life during this hurricane, he saved all these animals, and a jaguar pissed on him.
That's beautiful.
And then he got fired. And they offered to pay him his full salary and escort him back to L.A. as long as he promised to not sabotage the movie set.
But
He threw a fucking fit.
Oh
He
my
ripped up
God.
every piece of script he could find so that they could not continue with the movie. And then the new director had to bring in a writer to try to rewrite what they had already written there.
But then
Yeah.
I also heard that the old director decided to sneak back onto the set as an extra.
Yeah, he never
And
left
was
the
literally
island.
in the background of some of the scenes as an extra. No one knew who he
Yeah.
was.
So
That's fucking great.
a lot of the makeup people, they had to be stuck in their makeup for days on end because Marlon
God.
Brando and Val Kilmer couldn't agree with each other. So they would always be like, I'm not getting out of my RV until the other guy gets out of his RV and shit like that.
What a petty fucking fight.
And so they went off set and they found Richard Stanley 2 miles away from the site of shooting, just smoking weed with Australian hippies. And they were like, dude, you got to come back, man. And they put him in makeup and they made him an extra. And he got to destroy the set in that, in the final climax of the movie.
I bet
And
he was going in.
He said he felt so fucking good doing that.
So the movie finally got back on track as soon as
Sorta.
they brought Stanley back.
Also, Fairuza Balk is in this movie, and she was pissed when Stanley was fired. But
Oh,
they
yeah.
forced her to come back because they said her career would be ruined.
She threatened to take out her own heart with a sushi knife.
What? I didn't know that. Are you serious?
Yup.
Oh my god.
Well,
But
according
can
to
we
Richard
talk about how
Stanley.
she's a cat girl in this
She
Yeah.
movie?
is the cat girl in this movie.
She's a neko.
Was this before or after The Craft? Because, ooh.
Shit, when did The Craft come out? That was late 90s, I thought.
This was
So,
early 90s,
This is
right?
pre
Okay, if this is pre-90s, she went up. But if it's post, ooh. They're all looking it up now.
Right, let me...
The Craft debuted in 96.
All right, she just went up. She went up from there.
Yeah, definitely.
And she actually did a very good
It's the same
performance in
fucking
this
year.
movie, I think.
Let's
Wait, it
just-
was the
These
same
movies
year.
were released the same
This is
year.
awful.
But which one came first?
This was in November or August of 23rd of 96. When was The Craft?
I really
I'm going to look it up.
Okay. Typing.
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 Thanks for recommending this. May 3rd. So this is post The Craft.
Whoa.
Fuck!
I would be mad as hell if I did a cool ass movie like The Craft and then got onto this shit.
And I'm a belly dancing cat girl.
Well, actually, you
instead.
know what? People didn't really like The Craft when it came out.
That's fair.
If we were thinking back on it, it only became a cult classic afterwards. So she kind of in her mind was probably on a streak of bad movies.
And then Brando also consulted Stanley and said, do not come back to this movie set. This is cursed. This is not a good
I
movie.
love that they recorded all of their petty insults to each other because so many people were around while they were arguing.
I love
that
it.
they were like, according to this person, this was said, and they were
Yo.
constantly harassing each other
The
on set.
cameramen were having a
So-
field day with that.
With these two children fighting each other, they had to bring in the director, John Frankenheimer, who is
Frankenheimer.
known for doing various episodes and movies here and there. He is known for being strict on set, though, and so everything became very militant, and he often
He was
disagreed
one of those
with
old
people.
school directors who didn't work with people. He told them what to do
True.
on every single thing.
I mean, at this point, with all of this bullshit going on,
No, yeah, you kind of
someone had to step in.
You need Daddy to come in and give everyone a spanking.
And they didn't listen to him.
Now, the term "I did this movie because of Brando" is like all over this movie.
Pretty much the reason why they all stayed.
Yeah, they wanted to work with this guy, but he also made up his own get-up in the movie, which he wears. He's like sunscreened and wearing various hats and cloaks, and he looks dumb. He also said that he wouldn't do a certain scene unless they made him an ice bucket hat. A hat that can be like, you could pour ice and water in it and it would cool your head. And so the production designers had to like fashion this hat like on the scene immediately afterwards.
Oh my God, what a diva. I can't work in this heat. All right, I'm going to stay in my nice AC trailer until you get me an ice bucket hat, okay?
Yeah, and I mean, some of those lines are just him complaining about the heat, and then he wanted them to create the ice bucket hat, so they had to use a pot and make a hat for him because that's really what he wanted. And I'm guess like, well, if it's Marlon Brando, I guess I gotta.
Man, I just wonder what it's like to be one of the people on sets that are assistants and just have to pull these random things together for people.
To be a PA on
That's
that
fucking
set.
awful.
I don't know. I would kind of like to have that job for a bit just to see what fuckery people are up to on
Just
the
be like, oh my
sets.
God, you work with this? You're like, yeah, he's not as good as you think he is.
I mean, anybody I know that's ever worked with a celebrity usually says that. Like, I
Never meet your
knew
heroes.
a girl who does sound design, and she worked at a stadium nearby, and she got to meet Kanye West. Said he's fucking nuts.
Don't you berate Kanye on this cast.
No, I love Kanye, but Kanye is fucking nuts.
I'll
Let's
agree to
just
that.
Call a spade, dog.
Okay, but he's about to release a fire album though.
He already did. Donda slaps.
So
I'm getting applause from our audience.
yeah.
Donda is a seance, but whatever.
Oh fuck, that's real shit.
Okay, so but one thing that go ahead.
Marlon also really wanted Nelson De La Rosa, who was the former smallest man in the world, to have the same
There's
outfits
a
in
smaller
him.
man?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, someone has usurped him.
Which is
Took
hilarious
his name
considering
right
how
off
small
of
he is.
the
Yeah.
world record book.
He's small. Yeah, I did just find the name of the other guy. It's a guy from India, but I don't want to upset anyone by mispronouncing his entire name.
Try your best.
Oh, let's try my best.
Is it
Okay,
long?
cool.
I encourage people.
I was
trying
really
their best.
happy that the original band was just Nelson De La Rosa, so then I can do that, and that's fine. But then Chandra Baradur Dongi is currently the smallest man in the world.
How big is he? How tall is he?
How big is he?
1 foot 9.5 inches.
Oh my God.
Whoa, that's a fetus. I'm sorry, that was really insensitive.
Oh my God.
I am hurt.
Well,
Yeah.
But he
here-
really wanted him on.
he got very obsessed with this little man and decided to like write him in every scene that he was in, and made the production design have matching outfits with him. So it's basically the precursor to Mini-Me and Austin
I was
Powers.
about
Oh
to
my
say, he
God.
just wanted a mini.
Yeah. So I
I
also
bet you he was like, "You're the only one on this set who understands me."
oh, and he doesn't even talk in the movie, so
Yeah.
it's so great. My favorite part is that he would spend hours upon hours just in his RV, just in air conditioning, eating miles upon miles of frozen pizza over and over until they were ready for him.
Man, no wonder he was so hot. It was all that salt and carb sweat.
He's old as fuck too at that
And
point.
he's old. I don't know. Old people, their internal AC just turns
Yeah,
off.
you
at
know
a
what?
certain
He was
age.
alive before the microwave was even a thing.
So
like,
how was he making?
so excited
he was like,
about
he
it.
was
yeah,
like,
he
Like,
was
his
probably
yay.
toaster?
stoked on it. What's that?
Never mind.
Here's
Never
the
mind.
here's the last piece of production I have though. But John said it earlier. He would refuse to like read his own lines.
Yeah, it's
and
nuts.
often improv them. But he would wear earpieces and get them from an assistant. But once the earpiece was intercepted by police radio,
It's hilarious.
and he exclaimed the line, "There is a robbery at Woolworths," out on camera.
I wish they kept that in.
I'm sure it's in a blooper somewhere.
I've created this island. There's a robbery on.
It's like, I don't remember this being in the script. Oh, wait, I didn't read it.
So probably to move ourselves away from any segue.
Yeah, away from production and more
Yeah,
onto
more
narrative.
from more production and how awful this production is. And then off to the awfulness of the movie.
I think it ended up being not so coherent because it went through like 4 writers and 3 directors. So the fact that they even finished it is kind of wild. But the original story is pretty dope. The one that H.G. Wells wrote.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I've never read this book. Apparently, it's very short. It's like 137 pages.
It's really short.
No wonder, because it came from an argument. So, it's just H.G. Wells being really well, fuck this dude, his dumbass opinion.
I love how petty authors can be. It was like Dr. Seuss making a book on a bet.
Yeah.
The dude was like, I bet you can't make a book with less than 10 words. He's like, I got you. And made fucking, what is the fish book? The red fish, blue fish. He made that book on a bet and won.
Damn.
Which is
I wonder
great.
how much money he won.
Petty.
I wonder how much money he won.
Oh, it was petty. It was like $20 or something.
Well, he
like
made
that.
a whole lot of
But
more
then
money
he sold the
after
book
that.
and
Yeah.
then made a bunch of money.
So the beginning of this movie starts on a life raft after a plane crash.
Yeah.
And we've got these 3 individuals who are fighting over water. And this actually got me really excited for this movie because it's a pretty intensely violent scene. And I was like, this is exciting. Yay, cool. One of them gets eaten by a shark after getting stabbed. And then the other one, he just beats his face in with an oar to put him back in the
is that
ocean.
guy from Harry Potter? Or
David
am I
Thewlis?
thinking of someone
Yes.
else? That's him, right?
He
That's
is, yeah.
Lupin?
Yeah, Lupin. Yep.
Okay, I was like, that's the same
Oh,
dude.
Shit.
Yeah.
I thought he looked familiar.
His face looks super familiar, and I was like, oh, he doesn't look like he aged that much, which is weird.
Yeah, so David Thewlis plays the main character in this. Supposedly he's like a UN worker working, and then essentially got thrown off the ship. They're shipwrecked, and then eventually they find a sailboat from Montgomery, who is going to the island of Dr. Moreau to refill on animals. And eventually, instead of, taking him back to the main island, he just takes him into the island to be used for a secret experiment that he doesn't know, but basically he finds out some horrifying things.
Not before stopping to watch Veruza Balk dance.
Belly dance.
Which is such an awkward scene.
Oh, God. I mean, if you can call it that.
Damn, are these do these
Oh,
things
if you can call it dancing, yeah, it was awful.
do these things wait, I was going the other route. Do these series of image projections count as scenes?
What do you
Or
mean?
do they even constitute as scenes, or are they just that
Oh,
bad?
like the movie itself on a narrative structure? Probably not. No, it was so abrupt at times that I think they had to just edit it and cut it because they had nothing else.
Fuck. I'm kind of upset with how Marlon Brando's character looks. He doesn't look like evil science-y to me.
No,
Yeah.
he looks like a mix of Emperor Palpatine and Humpty Dumpty.
And Jabba the Hutt.
Especially with all the white.
Yeah, he looks like he had like theater makeup on and then just didn't do anything else with it.
He had such a huge stomach in some shots. I was like, holy crap, dude, you look enormous. And then I realized it's all the pizza.
So
Whoa! It was the pizza.
Miles upon miles of pie. That's the life of pie right there.
I fucking hate this.
All right, I'm leaving. Bye.
Yeah, it's time to go. We're ending this episode right now.
Yeah, right.
Well, the original story was a very interesting piece of science fiction. And then it evolved into a 1970s movie, but it didn't really do so hot. So they're always trying to do a new reiteration. This is the 90s version. And then just announced last year, there's going to be a new version coming out within the next 2 years
Whoa.
for a revamped audience of an original story.
Jordan Peele's going to direct it. I'm just
Shit.
kidding. I don't know, but I could see it.
So what's the secret on this island, Mitch?
The secret on this island is that Dr. Moreau
Who
is
you don't see for quite a while.
Not for a while. I was like almost like, is Val Kilmer's character
Yeah.
Dr. Montgomery?
I thought
is
that too.
the actual Dr. Moreau here? But no, it's not. He's just like the jailer.
He's like an enforcer.
Yeah, the
No,
enforcer
true doctor
of the
strolls
furry
in on,
people.
like-
But essentially what's being created here are human-animal hybrids. So if you've ever seen Full Metal Alchemist,
Oh no.
that kind of.
What was the name for them? It was
They were
the
called chimeras.
chimeras. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
essentially.
chimera is used a lot, actually.
Right. I feel like we've heard this quote a lot.
Hunter x Hunter, the chimera ants. Jesus Christ.
Most useless arc in fucking anime
So
history.
yeah,
no,
so
it was a good storyline. He just should have ended it like in half the episodes he did. Anyways,
it's so awkward because they throw what the hell is the name of the guy that gets stuck on the island? I'm trying to remember his name. It's like it's not Charles. It's like I don't remember. Anyway, the dude that gets stuck on the island, played by David Thewlis, gets
yes,
stuck
you're
on the
talking
island.
about David Thewlis, also known as Edward Douglas.
Edward Douglas. Thank you so much, Mer. I forget a lot of names in here because they're a lot of names. But yeah, he gets stuck in. He gets trapped essentially, and he's like, "Why the fuck are all these bars on this place?" And he like lock picks his way out, and then goes to the laboratory and finds a strange hybrid giving birth to like a cow creature. Maybe
I couldn't watch that.
that
scene.
it fucked me up a little bit. So this movie gets a couple points for being a little horrific at times,
A
for
little.
sure. Yeah, quite
Jesus.
horrific.
I got
very
some-
horrific.
I got some mad like Planet of the Apes vibes, but that's
I
when
was thinking that.
that's when I realized that the animal effects are done by Stan Winston, the
Oh,
legendary makeup artist.
Yeah, which is kind of wild.
They did a lot of stuff, including Jurassic Park and the Terminator movies. So I would say every movie that there is that he did, but there's too many. He's a really fucking good guy. Also, shout out to Rick Baker because I love that fucker too. But yeah, he did the creature effects, and some of these they do look like Planet of the Apes things, like creatures.
Yeah, we should talk about Planet of the Apes
Yeah,
at
we
some
should.
point.
I love Charles Dickinson.
What?
Charles Dickinson was
That's a
like,
good fucking
"Hey,
movie."
let's do a sequel, but you got to kill my character off." He wanted to be Han Solo, dude.
Yeah, it's true.
Or did Han Solo want to be Charles? Okay.
So finds all of these hybrid animals. I mean, I think this is after encountering Farouja Bulk's character,
Yeah.
whose name I cannot remember because it's there. Some of
Ayla.
these names are Ayla. There we
Cat
go.
girl.
See?
Cat girl.
Yeah, cat girl. And then she helps him escape, and then they find like the weird commune of the group.
Yeah, with Ron Perlman.
Yeah, with Ron Perlman as the law keeping ram
With his-
person.
You
with
mean
his like
Baphomet?
weird high pitched voice.
Which I actually kind of liked him in this role also. See, mostly this movie's trash, but there are some standout moments that I enjoy.
I like the idea that they can't kill anything. They display that after they find a dead rabbit in the forest. So they put a creature on trial, and it's his best friend after he gets killed who finds out that they're all like connected with a device that shocks them and keeps them in submission. So then he goes into his body and rips out the device and basically goes rogue and starts making a band of creatures. They call him Hyena, and he looks like a monkey hyena hybrid. But like he's probably my favorite part about this movie. He's like trying to find guns and AKs and shit so he could take over the humans. And he's so extra.
He rips out his own little implant so that no one can tell him no anymore.
Yeah.
No more pain. No
more
more
pain.
pain.
Oh yeah, and then what do they call the guns in the story?
Good guy, the stick that brings fire or something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Oh man.
Yeah, the stick that brings fire and brings death.
Yeah.
Fair.
Eventually, they're just his character, the main character, figures out that he's not going to be leaving anytime soon, and so it's basically the uprising against Dr. Moreau, and the hyena gang basically breaks into his house. And I think in a hilarious scene, they figure out what a piano is, and they like do discordant chords, and like he's like, oh yeah, you could play like that, or you could play like this, and he like plays a beautiful melody for them, and they all calm down. And it's like one of the only moments that I was like, this is actually really cool. You actually did really good.
I mean, but also like, I mean, that I have to agree with Mur on this as well, because that's a pretty frightening scene, because I'm very much anticipating them just ripping Marlon Brando to pieces in this whole thing, which they do. They do that.
They get around to it.
Trying to get to all that pizza.
I don't know if this is like personification of himself, but Val Kilmer, whatever his name is.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
I love that you
Bill
keep giving
Kramer.
them fake
Yeah, I'm gonna
names.
get every production person right and every actor
Oh my
wrong.
God, that's hilarious.
He basically tries to take up the role of Dr. Moreau, like painting himself the similar way and like getting on his throne and acting like God. And so like he kind of thinks of himself as God and like starts throwing drugs out to all these people.
Well, is he not God if he creates life?
What did he create? He just gives people meth.
Like, how does anyone think? Yeah, this is how I calm them down. Give them some meth, some mushrooms, some LSD, and
Right.
another hodgepodge of other fucking drugs, and this is gonna calm them down. They'll be in their right mind.
I don't
then.
know about all that.
A lot of the makeup design had to be like they had to go hours upon also days with it on themselves to a point where the extras were getting so bored that they would often like just resort to taking drugs and like fucking each other in their RVs because they were just waiting for both the actors to
fucking
get
each
over
other
the
in costume.
in costume.
Jesus Christ.
Actual furry con now. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Whoa!
They couldn't take it off because they had to shoot, and basically a lot of people wanted to leave the set. All these extras wanted to leave the set. They're like, well, you can't leave the set because we made these costumes for your fixture. So we've put like thousands of dollars to make these specifically for you, and then you just see a bunch of takes of all of them crying because they want to leave this place.
That fucking sucks.
Oh my god.
So he trapped them all on the island. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, it's basically I don't know. It's a little ironic, isn't it?
That's why nobody was doing good acting. They just wanted to go home.
So how's the movie end? They basically figure. Yeah, please.
We'll get to the
Please,
ending of
wrap
it.
it up.
So essentially, the group of hyenas figure out how to rip out all their implants. Dr. Moreau's not able to control them anymore. They slaughter the shit out of everyone. Farouja Bulk gets hung.
Not Catgirl.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, she gets
no,
hung.
Yeah.
Dude, after she figures out that she could use her powers.
She has powers.
Yeah, she has cat powers.
Well, I mean, this is one of those. This is one of those really terrible, like, what is it? Like terrible timing or like cut? Not a cut. It's a really bad cut though, where it goes to Dr. Montgomery trying to assume the role of the new Dr. Moreau. And he's just like, I am God now, and just speaking absolute nonsense until the dog man shoots him and then says, I am now God, and then is then shot by Hyena Man. and then tries to tell him that
Also, Hyena Man doesn't shoot him once. He shoots him like 7 times. Like he's on the ground. He just keeps going like.
the stick that brings fire and death.
God.
And then eventually, it's a horrible thing. They just blow up the whole place because why not?
Yeah,
Good,
why not?
might as well. I mean, I feel like this is not only scripted, but also like just a blessing to all of them. Good job blowing up the entire set.
And then somewhere on set, Richard Stanley is destroying this place with the extras, and he's feeling so good about himself.
Oh man.
High on that hippie weed
Yeah,
from
the most punk rock
that
moment.
Australian weed.
Yeah. And then eventually there's that moment where he's like, tell them I'm God. Hyena Man has control.
Yeah.
He has AKs. He's basically going to become Dr. Moreau at this point.
Tell them I'm God. And then he's like, well, there's God over there. And there's also God over there.
He's pointing to his henchman.
Yeah. And he's like, but there can only be one, right? And he uses this as a distraction to make all of the animal people fight each other. And then...
You're not God, I am.
Yeah, exactly. And they all kill each other and blow everything up. And it's wonderful. And then, luckily... Ron Perlman's character survives.
Good.
Yeah.
At least something good came from
Yeah,
this
and then I think
movie.
it's the Bamboo Man is also the good one. He's the guy with the stick in the very
It's
beginning.
like a
Oh,
baseball
yeah.
bat.
Yeah, exactly. He's like just a baseball bat club thing. And then God.
I think his name's Assassin Bumble.
I
something
used
like
to
that.
kind of enjoyed this movie, and now I just hate it. Like, I just hate it because it's such a train wreck.
Wait, I figured out his name. It says it's Assassimon, the baboon-themed hybrid who has a fucking baseball bat.
Wait, why does he sound like a Pokemon though?
Yeah,
Assassimon.
Oh my God.
So, the main character then says that he'll be back to return with scientists to help them out, and they say maybe we should just not do that, and maybe we'll just succumb to being animals.
Yeah, return to monkey.
Return to monkey.
Oh my god.
And then he leaves.
And I turned the fucking
And that's the
laptop
whole
off.
movie.
That's it.
That's
fucking
it.
ends.
That's the whole movie. This, oh god, fuck.
All right. Favorite scenes.
When Brandon and Marlowe.
Marlon Brando is good and dead now.
When he got it's either that or the guy getting shot 7 times.
Yeah,
Sounds fucking hilarious.
it is so funny.
Because it gets to the point of absurd comedy that's not intentional, where they like have this physical comedy happening, and it's like he's obviously dead, and they just keep fucking shooting.
It's supposed to be terrifying, but honestly, it's just kind of hilarious.
It's like, yeah, he's dead. He is definitely dead.
Yeah. You did it.
You did great, bro. Calm down.
Yeah.
Chill.
Oh god. So, folks, favorite scenes?
When
that's
the
a
credits
tough
started
question.
rolling.
Oh, this is bad. Moreau, you go first. You look like you're ready.
I am. Now you made me laugh. It's the scene where he plays the piano for like the beasts. Basically, it's like one of the more tender moments where he basically says, or the hyena goes, "What am I? Am I a man or am I a beast?" And basically, Marlon Blando's character doesn't have a fucking thing to tell him, so he plays this nice tune for them, and then change scene to him getting his guts ripped out, and it's so sick. I love it.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Right on the hammock too.
Yeah,
Amazing.
it was like one of the only good parts in the movie.
Oh
I was like, if I could have gotten more of that, it probably would have gone somewhere.
maybe I mean that, because see, that's what I was gonna say, but I knew Murr was gonna beat me to it. But I liked the trial scene because that actually built a little bit of tension and kind of showed a little bit of this world they're trying to create. You know, we're gonna have this trial. And then, of course, you know, Mr. Dogman just wants to shoot a cheetah person in the face. And then, yep, and then Hyena Man's very upset about this.
It feels like you're talking to a child, like trying to explain, like, then the hyena man.
What happens? I can't.
This new season of He-Man is lit. We
Yeah,
got
this
Cheetah
new
Man and
Cheetah
Lion Man and
I love this whole movie, every scene.
oh, really now? I'm gonna get you a hard copy for your birthday, Justine.
Yes,
Yeah.
please do it.
Holy crap.
Did you have a favorite scene? You could say it when the credits
I
roll.
like the life raft.
Okay, good.
That is a
Good.
sick scene.
That was my
Yeah,
favorite.
he pulls out the shiv out of nowhere.
God.
Bless. Okay, that's
So,
all I gotta say.
All right, Grindhousers.
We gotta give a rating.
Got to get our ratings in now.
Oh man.
That's not fair.
This is officially the first movie that I'm ever going to give a 1 to.
Well,
Because I don't think you can even give a 0 to something like this. This is worse to me than when we watched that stupid Dungeons and Dragons movie. This is worse than that, and Dungeons and Dragons movie was awful. At least you had Jeremy Irons in that.
He saved it. He
He's
went
the
so hard. Oh,
only
my
one.
boy. My boy.
He was the only one doing actual acting in that movie.
Some of the set designs were also kind of cool. But yeah,
Officially a 1 out of 10.
I'm going to, because we know the poor crew, the poor set folks, the writing, our poor man Stanley here, just going through rituals to make things happen, trying to meet their idols.
I just thought of something too. I think he cursed this movie with the blood ritual.
Probably
I think
did.
whatever
Actually.
wizard he had to do his ritual messed something up while he was doing it, and then unleashed the beast
Jeez.
that just wreaked havoc on the
I-
set.
As for my rating, because I know all of that going in, I'm giving it a 3 out of 10. A 3, just because there
Fair.
was suffering involved.
All
Those
right,
poor,
yeah, I'll bump it to 2 just
they
for the
at
crew.
least got
The
it
cool
done.
crew.
I'm gonna give it a solid 4 points.
Wow, you gave 4.
1 point for comedic value. 2 points for the curse. 3 points for the
man.
blood wizard, and 4 points for cat girl.
For the cat girl alone. Cat girl counts for 1 point.
I'm gonna give this a 4.
Nice.
I'm gonna have to agree. I think the fact that it's a movie that has been made and got finished says a
Oh,
lot about
man.
Hollywood.
They'll just make just about anything.
Yeah, they really will. And then
It's all about who you know.
for the majority, I'd say 2 points goes to Ron Perlman being awesome.
And
then-
cool goat man.
And then another point for Stan Winston doing what Stan Winston does. I think he always does good creature effects, even if the movies are bad. Some of these designs were fucking butt ugly and awful, but the other ones I was very impressed with, like the Warthog Man.
Yeah, some of them kind of look like they were just burned, which was odd. This might be officially the lowest rated film we've ever talked about.
Probably.
I thought it was great.
Hold on. Let me talk to our audience.
I thought it was great.
Let me talk. Thanks, Sean. We really love this one.
It's like, you know what? Just to get back at you, go watch Battlefield Earth. You son of a bitch.
I give this movie 3 yeehaws for you.
All right. So
I thought for some reason that means you would say "ye" like 3 times before you got to the
Yeehaw!
you know what I'm saying?
Fuck.
all right. You guys ready to walk out?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're
let me go
walking
grab
out,
my
please.
jacket. My horror-themed jacket from tonightsprogram.com. Remember, with our code BDTGH, you can get 20% off anything from the shop. Check it out. Get your cute jackets. Get your t-shirts.
Oh, that's nice, Justine.
Yeah, it's real cool. All right. I think I'm ready. Just going to slip this hoodie on
Yeah, let's head out.
for 20% off BDTGH. tonightsprogram.com. Let's go.
Also sponsored by Blue Chew. No, I'm just kidding.
Give us the sponsorship, damn it.
Yeah, American Boners.
Blue Chew, sponsor us.
Okay. We are bringing down the Grindhouse, a podcast that discusses horror in media and occasionally boners. Thank you for checking out this episode. Make sure to check out our social medias where we have the Facebooks, the Twitters, and the Instagrams. Also check out our Patreon. This was a Patreon requested episode for our friend Sean.
Yeehaw.
Yeehaw. For $2 a month, you could send us the money, and we'll get the recommendation. You give us the money, you get the recommendation. And
Bada bing, bada boom.
bada bing, bada boom. Huh?
It's an offer you can't refuse.
Yeah.
That one's for you, Brando.
Blando.
All right, let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, how the hell did we get through this without a Godfather reference or line?
There was too much trash to discuss. We had to take it out first.
Also, make sure to follow us on Spotify as well as Apple Podcasts to get notified when new episodes release. It's pretty dope.
I'm gonna make the Godfather music the outro.
Bada bing, bada boom. Wait, do the line. Come to my house.
I can't do it now.
You come into my house on the day of my daughter's wedding, and you bring all these furries with you.
Okay, I'm out.
Bye, guys.
I'm Mitch.
I'm Murder.
I'm Justine.
I'm Jonathan. Thank you.
I can't even.